96.5 WKLH, Milwaukee's hometown rock. Craig Carson with Sandy Max.
And we have a special guest from Toto, Joseph Williams.
Nice to see you.
Let me just introduce you officially. Singer, songwriter, producer, performer, maestro, specifically vocalist for Toto, Joseph Williams on the phone.
Well, thank you. Nice to be here.
This is a busy time for you, obviously, an exciting time for you with the new album and everything.
It truly is. We're very, very excited about the release of this DVD. You know, Luke and I have been trying to keep pretty busy. We've been working with Ringo lately. And just, trying to keep ourselves out of trouble until we get back on the road.
You and Steve's favorite thing is being on the road, so you're probably counting down the days.
I am counting down the days. It's been rough, this entire year without any shows. We had planned to do a summer here in Europe this year, but we got backed up until next year, which is fine. It'll be fun, but it's definitely been tough. It's been like a double lockdown.
Which is probably why it felt great to do that live performance back in November, and now it's the album. It's now an album that's out for everybody to enjoy if you didn't grab that live performance in November. With a little help from my friends, the new Toto live album, when you did that performance, it had to be great to just get out there and do a live show. Exactly.
I mean, it was something for us to look forward to also. I mean, we were just languishing, stale, and we thought, let's put something together. It'll give us something to do. We can start thinking about who's going to be in the band. We can start thinking about putting together the set list for when we do go back on the road. It served a lot of functions.
That's a spectacular collection of talent on stage, Joe. I mean, that's a lot of artful musicians, and I can imagine you only get better with practice. So that was a really good reason to get together and stay tight. So that way, once we come out of the pandemic, you are ready to be back on stage and get that energy from the fans.
That's the idea. The idea is to get, prepped and locked and loaded. And when we're, when venues open up for us, then we're ready to go.
Well, you didn't seem stale because there are some really impressive musical moments on this live stream, live album, like Kingdom of Desire, the guitar work in that song alone. It stopped me in my tracks while I was listening to it. I was like, wow, that sounds great. So there are some really magical moments I felt listening to this album.
Well, it's hard to sound bad when you've got a stage full of, some of the best musicians on the planet. Even when we're, not as rehearsed as we could be, it still sounds brilliant.
What I thought was cool was how you stepped into all of Bobby Kimball's vocals. You just grabbed it and it fits. You Are the Flower is probably my favorite out of all the ones performed.
Well, it was always one of my favorite Toto songs from the very beginning, and I've always been a huge Bobby Kimball fan. It's part of my job is to sing some of his tunes and do them as best as I can because the fans want to hear them. Fans demand it,
Well, and I watched Till the End on YouTube from the new album, which I don't always recommend because you don't always want to look at the comments, Joe. But I'm telling you, fans are saying you're in excellent voice. So I hope that feels good to you. Do you feel that good?
I do. I mean, listen, all of the 10 years we just spent on the road has served me well in terms of getting stronger as a singer.
Now, this is the part that I'm trying to wrap my brain around with creating the set list, that, the final list of all the songs you're going to perform. How did you guys narrow that down? I mean, there's too many songs.
So many, yeah.
Well, we do it the same way. I mean, first of all, you got to do the hits. And then each of us like to pick a song or two that we would really like to perform out of the catalog. And it kind of goes like that from there, and then we just sort of all talk about it. What you hear here represents about 2/3 of what will be our tour next year.
Right, and then there's, from what I heard, you're going to be performing a lot of stuff from your solo albums and Lukather's as well.
Yeah, we got to definitely do a couple things. I mean, these albums sort of serve as the new Toto material for this cycle,
Definitely.
And I have to think those solo albums also serve as some therapy to kind of process your feelings during the shutdowns and also other feelings of things going on around the band.
Well, that's true. I mean, I had my album, in my system for years. I started working on it in 2016, 2017. So I sort of had mine planned and didn't quite have a theme for it or all the songs. Yeah, I mean, towards the end of the making of my record, for sure, some of the newer songs, reflected what was going on.
Yeah, Sandy, and you should listen. I can't even describe Joe's album. You can't categorize it, which is a good thing. It's unlike a lot of stuff I've ever heard. So yeah. Denizen Tenant is the name of it, by the way. It's really good. I know we're not here to talk about that album, but it's hard not to talk about it because you're touring soon and you're going to be singing songs from that.
I think any Toto fan wants to know about the solo work too. You know, because Joe, how does the songwriting process differ? Is it wildly different when you have to collaborate and compromise and then do your own thing, or is there a rhythm to it? What's your process?
For me, it's more about, being able to produce this project on my own, being able to just sort of make all of the creative decisions the way I wanted to make them. It's, when you're in a band with 3 or 4 guys, it's a different situation. You get everybody, it's a compromise.
Was there a particular moment during this live stream that was memorable or important to you?
In the DVD, in the performance?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was the Kimball song. To me, that's a highlight in the show. First of all, it's a blast to sing.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I love the song. I love making a comment for Bobby and everything. And for me, that's a highlight.
Funny how that worked out, because there's not many people that would be in Bobby's wheelhouse as far as vocals go. You're fitting the bill.
Nobody's actually in Bobby's wheelhouse. He was, he was one of a kind. It's just a matter of doing myself, but just trying to pay homage to one of the greatest voices ever.
Well, I think with it being a live stream, and even though you weren't surrounded by thousands of screaming fans, you guys all made it feel very personable and fun and intimate, like even just during band introductions. There's laughter, there's camaraderie, there are nicknames.
Yeah, it's a band of brothers. When you tour with people for 20, 30 years, you get pretty close, and the good news with us is that we're still friends and still enjoy playing together. And so a lot of that bond and humor comes out on stage, which is important.
And the transition to your updated, expanded Toto lineup is even easier when you've already had Warren Ham, who plays every instrument, and then Xavier on the keys, who's toured with Prince. But he was on the Toto tour a couple of years ago. I saw you guys in Chicago.
Exactly. There were a few guys that needed to come back for sure. Warren is, as somebody once put, every band needs Warren Ham.
because he plays everything. It's ridiculous. I saw him, I think You Are the Flower. I saw the video. He's playing the flute. Then, real quick, he puts down the flute, and he goes and plays the bongos. Then he picks up the flute again. Then he plays the bongos.
That's right. He's a multi-instrumentalist, amazing singer.
Yeah. Thus the nickname Mr. Fabulous, I'm assuming.
Mr. Fab. Can't leave town without him.
And did anybody learn yet how the drummer, Sput, got his nickname?
No.
That's it. It may have come up, but I think I forgot exactly what it is.
Now, before the pandemic, were you noticing your concerts having younger fans between your song Africa? Weezer did their cover, but it's made appearance in Family Guy and then Stranger Things and South Park. So, you're part of pop culture. Are you seeing a broader range of fans in the audience?
Well, Africa's, been an insanely, great thing for this band. It's kept us alive, and, all the different covers and stuff that have created interest with younger people. We're definitely seeing different, younger crowds and stuff, depending upon what country you're in. It varies, but for instance, in the summer when we play festivals and stuff in Europe, it was mostly young people.
Wow, that's great.
Smart people.
Yeah,
a whole new generation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Dogs of Oz World Tour. I know dates are currently being confirmed for the 2022 tour. Any idea?
Well, it looks like we may be doing some dates in the spring in the States, and then we have a European tour set for the summer.
Sooner than later. That's exciting.
Yep, just got to hold out for a few more months.
I was going to say, you're like, not soon enough for me. I wish I was on the road right now.
Exactly.
Joe, I'm going to be honest with you. I am the pop culture, I Know Your Hits, Hold the Line is my favorite Toto song. So I'm a fan of the band. Craig is the Toto hoodie wearing super fan. So I have learned a lot from Craig about and been introduced to more and more and more of your work, which has been really fun to have a guide on this Toto journey and learning about so many different configurations of the band, and every band comes with its own drama. Have you guys talked about, boy, if we were Queen and did our own Bohemian Rhapsody movie, like doing your own biopic?
Wow, well, that's a good question. It would have to, that's a real good question. I think that it's been talked about before with the Caros.
Who would you want to play you in the biopic?
Oh, gosh. Who knows? Pavarotti.
Who would you say?
He said Pavarotti.
Pavarotti.
Oh, nice. Nice. I was thinking Gary Oldman. He can play anything.
Oh, my gosh.
And then my last question for you would be, if I just say word association, if I say Milwaukee, what comes to mind? Like a concert memory, a friendly interaction?
Just fun. I've had a great time there.
We hope you have a great time again in 2022. We look forward to seeing you.
You too. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah,
guys.
Thanks for the music.
Thank you so much, Joe. We appreciate it.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.